Well, here we are, day 17, at the start of a walk. It's Brailes. I think it's pronounced Lower Brailes. I'm starting from there's the church, and from outside there, the car's parked over there. I've walked along, past the garage, and it says style, but it's not. It's just a gate through that field, through that one there, and through here. And I'm going to a place called Sutton under Brailes, B-R-A-I-L-E-S. Walking along a river. Apparently I've got to go through a golf course, but it'll take me, and then I go up onto the hills and up to Lower Brailes and then back down. So I'm starting off, it's about 10 o'clock ish, but this is my first walk where I'm going, well, the second one where I'm out in the countryside. I'm having to be careful with my legs, and I'm going to have an incline. Apparently that hill there is about 700 foot, which is, but I don't think I'm going all the way up it. I think I go about halfway up. So that's it for now. Weather cool, overcast but cool. Yeah, fine. Out for now. Well, here we are. I've just walked down through a couple of fields, 2 or 3, and then onto a golf course. The golf course which the path runs through. Golf course is over there. There's the river. I'm just keeping the brook, river, brook, whatever you want to call it, on my right. And down here, I believe, we're getting to the end of the golf course, and I think there's a roadway that takes me up to the town of Sutton upon Brailes, or whatever they call it. So there we go. Not got the gimbal. I'm not going through all that palaver for a couple of seconds of, a couple of minutes or a couple of moments of video. But that's it. Down here. And onwards and upwards. So far I had a chat with somebody for about 5 minutes, 5-10 minutes, a local guy out with his dog. And that's it so far. Walk through fields. The ground is uneven. It's at angles and that, which is making my legs work, and it means I have to be careful with my ankles and stuff. But that's the whole point of this. It's to see if the legs will work under normal conditions type thing. Did the hill the other day, it was really tiring. That little hill out of Ashbourne. And today is full 5 miles with a hill in it. So this will be a sort of like a marker for me. See if I can do this. That's the little road there. There's the gate I go through, I think. Carry on. Oh, trying to stay off the greens here, because it's I don't want to annoy them. They probably don't like the fact that walkers go through the course anyway. But rights away and all that. Park outside my house anytime they want. There we go. Lovely. So we were talking about country pubs and a number of them that are almost certain to close. We were saying they had real problems keeping theirs open. In fact, in the village that he was in, the brewery was neglecting the pub, and the locals were getting very angry about it. And what actually happened was that a group of locals who were businessmen, in their spare time, wrote up a business plan for the pub as if they were running it. And then they went to the brewery. I won't say the name, but it's a local brewery around here. And they said, look, here's a business plan. This has been made up by us. We actually know what we're doing. If you invest this and you do this, this is what the outcome will be. And lo and behold, they did. But the problem is they put in some landlords and manager from somewhere outside of the county, somewhere else, and they don't quite get the village pub thing. A village pub is not a management job, it's a way of life. And I don't think companies should be running village pubs. In the city, I don't care, but in a village you need somebody who's got a commitment to the local community, the local place, because the village pub is part of the village. It's not part of some corporation's spreadsheet. And that's a Thatcherite sort of view. She was always for small businessmen are the backbone of the community type thing. The local shopkeeper, the local post office manager, the local landlord, these sort of things, the guys who sell the local feed to the farmers, all these small businesses are what make the more rural areas independent and gives them that base, that base for democracy. Competent people who are capable of actually getting things done. So there you go. But that's it. Yeah, but they just simply drew up a business plan for the pub and took it to the brewery and said, look, we know what we're talking about. Yeah, you might have to invest a little bit here and there, but if you do this and you do that, you're in. And they looked at it, and they probably had some of their people looking at it, and they, you know what, yeah, these guys know the area, they know the locale, they know what they're talking about, yeah, let's do it. And they did. Out for now. Well, here I am now in a place called Sutton under Brailes, if that's how you pronounce that Brailes thing. Just putting my stuff. I've had a bit of a sit down. This is the village green. And a bit of a sit down. They've got fibre broadband here, which is nice. I don't think I've got it. There we go. Had a bit of a sit down there. And off. Not putting the gimbal out because I just stop and put it back in the taking it out and put it in, unless there's something like a churchyard or something I'm going to be going through and filming for a while. It's just walk in. There's their war memorial. Around the corner here is the church, so I'm not going to do that. There we go. Victoria Regina. VR. Well, at least the post office isn't major wasting our money on new post boxes. Yeah, it's a very, very nice village altogether. Very Cotswold-like because, well, nearly in the Cotswold. In fact, we might be in the Cotswolds. I don't know what the border of that place is. With a stone and that, which apparently is, if I remember rightly, I might be completely wrong here, but I think the thing is it's easy to work, but it isn't, or to work with, but it's not granite. It's not the most sustainable. If you look down there, you see, look here and here. If you look down, it's went away. I believe it's good enough. It'll keep you for a couple hundred years or so, but after that, hey, here's somebody now, the process of building a wall. That's how the inside looks, laid out. I think they measure by hand, the size of your hand, if I remember rightly. That's obviously a trick, lay them all out so you can see the ones of the size that you're looking for. Yeah, there you go. Big uns on the bottom. Sorry, big uns Big ones on the bottom, big ones. So Northerners say on the bottom. Building up 2 walls. So basically, you're building 2 walls and filling the middle with it with the rubble, with smaller stones. And if you do it, it should last. Well, there's stone walls up north. They have them in Galicia. Good God, I don't know how long. Oh, I've seen some of them there, and they're massive. The stones in the walls that they use to build the walls, just massive. So, you know, they'll last. Some of these walls have lasted from the Stone Age. In some parts of Britain, on the continent, Brittany, west coast of France, as they say, or Brittany, and of course Galicia, northern Spain, Asturias, and all along there. It's the same technique, same farming methods, because it's the same culture, because it's the same people. Yeah, there's a nice smell of wood burning here. Like in the city, when you smell the fire, you smell the wood here. The city's usually got plastics in it. Not so pleasant. There you go. Right. What I'm looking for now is the church, which apparently is going to be here on my right. Yeah, I can see it. And then I take a pathway to the left. Just gonna swap hands, because this is because you keep my fingers when I'm not holding the gimbal, holding the phone between my fingers. Sometimes I use the phone, sometimes I use my camera. Camera's very heavy. Now, my guidebook tells me to use a driveway, not the one that goes to the church. So let me see over here. It's a lovely little place there, garage. That's him. That's what I'm looking for. There's the church. I'm not going to go hunting around in the churchyard. I might drive back up here and we'll have a look round. Anyway, that's it for now. Out. Okay. I'm doing this because of the breathing. This is my breathing when I'm walking. It's not good. Walking, not running, not jogging, not pushing it, plodding, slow, one foot in front of the other, walking. Now, admittedly, up that hill, there's a church down there. See the smoke of the fire I walked past. I went through an orchard, through another muddy field, out onto a concrete path, which you can see down there where the gate is, and from there up this hill. There's some low flying hercs and stuff doing stuff around here sometimes. They do parachuting around Oxford. Sometimes there's I don't think they'll be doing anything today, but they have low level Hercules flying around. Plus there's a few flying schools around, including there's a couple of helicopter places down near Oxford, and we're only 20 or so miles away from Oxford. That sounds like a herc, I think. You're going down the motorway sometimes by Oxford, and they're dropping their stick of trainees out the back, and you look at it and you think some of them are going to end in the motorway. Obviously they know what they're doing, but from a distance it doesn't look good. Right, so that's it. Really struggling breathing wise, really struggling. And that is literally one foot in front of the other, walking, and I'm really struggling with the breathing. That's it for now. I think I've got another little bit of an incline to go, and then I'm halfway up this hill. I think they said it was 700 foot to Upper Brailes, from the bottom of the hills at 700 foot on the Ordnance Survey or something like that anyway. But I'm only going about halfway up and then walking around it. Out for now. So here I am on top of the hill, or halfway up the hill. Walked along what's supposed to be a bridle path, but it's basically just a muddy track. Over the village there, what we're looking down on is, down there is the golf course, and that about halfway up this hill. But you can see long old valley off into the distance. I think that direction is towards I can't remember the name of the place, Sutton on Avon or something, and then down towards the south, down towards the Cotswolds and that. But if you turn around here, you can still see there's a good bit of the hill up there. That's all uphill there. There we go. It's starting to get cold and wet, not wet but cold, so I've got there may be a bit of rain later on, but when I get down here I want to do the whole lot, so I'm going to carry on. Oh, it's a bit blowy, you might be able to hear it. I've got this inside the mic, inside my the face mask that I've got on, hoping it won't be as windy, and there you can actually hear what I'm saying. It's not just all blowy. But there you go. So I'm walking around the edge of the hill. It's getting too blowy to really use this thing, and this will take me into what they call Upper Brailes, which obviously is on the hill, and then I slowly work my way back down to where the church is, and the car is, my car is parked down the bottom there. All in all, I needed that hill. That hill was hard back there. I had to put some effort in. My breathing shows it was actually worse than you see on any recording I've made, because before that I was really struggling. I didn't stop, but I was really struggling, and I thought I need to record how badly my breathing is out, to show really how unfit I am. Really bad. But yeah, but there you go, a good hill. I think I was about, if it's halfway up, yeah, maybe 100, 200 feet or something. Anyway, done. And now I walk along here nice and relatively flat, a bit muddy, and the ground isn't good, but it's definitely making me pay attention to my footing. It's making the legs work. The legs feel okay, you know, I can feel them, because they're sort of going, what are you doing? This isn't what we expected. But aches and pains wise, nothing at the moment. They're just a bit they're not used to it, that's all. But nothing as bad as the last couple of weeks, nothing at all. So I go along to this house up here down the back, and that'll take me into the town of Upper Brailes, and then from there it's down through a couple of fields to the back of the church, and then back down to the car, and that's me calling it a day, back to where I'm staying, and clean myself up. I'm very muddy, and that's it, a tick in the box. A proper walk, admittedly, not what a real hikist or walker would think, but a good walk. And it's proven to me that the legs so far are on the way back. They're in the right direction, is the main thing. I'm going in the right direction. Right, that's it for now. Just looking at a muddy field. Out. Well, here we are above the town. That's Lower Brailes down there, and the church where we started off, which is nice. Where I'm going to end up at the back, coming down behind that church, if I stick to the route that I've set up. There you go. Lovely long valley, as we know, going all the way down and way beyond that, down towards Oxfordshire and Oxford and that. It's a bit easier on the foot up here now where I am. Grass. And there's a farmer back there working on a ditch. He's got a Land Rover and he seems to be doing some sort of drainage thing, but he's on his own. And the thing about people doing heavy manual work on your own is that if something goes wrong, you can be in a world of pain very quickly if you haven't got somebody there to help bail you out. We used to have this problem with a fisherman, a lobster fisherman down on the south coast, and I believe they probably have it everywhere, going to sea on their own. If there's an accident or anything of any kind, they're gone. All that happens is that a boat is seen, somebody goes over there, where's old Bob? Bob's nowhere to be seen. The world and his dog is called out to search for Bob, and then either the body will turn up later, or if he's got tangled around a pot or something like that, he'll be dragged to the bottom and he'll be there till he basically rots away. All very nasty. So working on your own, doing heavy manual stuff, it's one of the things they say about farmers, that they have problems because they work so much on their own and away from everybody else, especially nowadays. Back in the day when I was a youngster, going to the uncle's place and then going and working with the local farmers, they always had somebody there. There was always one or two young lads that were there, usually even from the town. The youngsters in 15 or 16 would come up and they'd work with the animals, and they're just like they're out all day. I remember going to one of the farmers' places, I won't mention the name, and she's dead and gone now I think, but their kitchen, they used to, like a lot of country places, had a massive kitchen, and she'd get up in the morning, you go in there, there'd be cups of tea and toast there for you before the start of the day, and midday you go back. It'd be a big meal for about 6 blokes who've been working all day. I was like a little kid then, 10, 11, 13 years old, and it was great doing he used to do turkeys for Christmas and things like this, but getting in the sheep, getting in the cattle, go counting for them, all of this sort of thing, make you feel like, well, you were taking part. You're only doing a little bit, but the little bit you were doing didn't need to be done by somebody else. So, and then you'd come back in the evening and that was it, and then I'd go home, back up to the house, having been out since 8 o'clock in the morning, or 7 or 8 o'clock in the morning, till 6 or so in the evening. Country life during the summer holidays. We still have that ludicrous thing in Britain of having 6 weeks school holidays, well, I think we still do, which is supposed to be to help the farmers get the hay in and to get the crops in. This is 2020s. We don't even have many agricultural workers now. Those that are are usually the kind of people who have technical skills, and maybe not in the mechanical way, but they're the people who can drive these combine harvesters, these massive big machines for doing the drainage and all this sort of thing. So they're the kind of people who do all that, and so there's very few of them because they can do a load of more work with the machinery. But a lot of farmers spend a lot of time on their own, and like I say, if anything goes wrong, not good, is it? Anyway, that's me for now. Down here, and it starts to go downhill. Out for now. Now making my way down into slightly into Upper Brailes. There's a thatched cottage that my guide tells me to use. That is down there. I need to go left there and then up to the main road of the town. Over there on the other side is Castle Hill. That's a hill fort. You're supposed to be able to see where the ridges of the defences and that, but I can't see much. Never mind. It's starting to get green again, isn't it? Starting to get green. Anyway, that's it for now. Going down into the Upper Brailes. Out for now. Back up there is where I came from. Down into the town. And then I've walked into the town there, Upper Brailes. Back down there, there's the road. You can see a car there actually. And from that road I've come through 2 fields. So I'm basically skirting the outsides of the town. The other side of from where I was doing the walk mostly. I'm in here now in the 3rd field. I'm near the end. My legs are starting to to ache a little bit, but there again, that's just tiredness. There is I believe that's Bale's house down there, and I have to carry on down this way. All in all, not a bad little walk. If you're a fit person, the hill wouldn't be as much of a challenge as it was for me. And you're walking to, you got 3 villages really here. You've got this one that got to, I think it was Sutton and the Brailes, and then you've got Upper Brailes and then Lower Brailes. Now I don't know if there's I didn't notice a pub in Sutton Brailes. I imagine there would be one there because this is quite a nice part of the country. But you could walk to there and then have a rest and a beer and then walk up that hill, and then you're walking down into Lower Brailes. And I don't know if there's any way you can get a beer or a cup of coffee or tea. All the pubs do tea and coffee nowadays. Most of them do, very rare they don't. And then back down, so you can break it up in 1 or 2 places. I don't know about food and everything, with everything closed down. But there you go. It's not a great, for some of these people who are not, if you're an ordinary walker, this is not, what I've done today isn't anything heroic or anything, nothing special. A walk but with a bit of a hill in it. But for me, the improvement from even 2 weeks ago is absolutely stunning. I managed to get all the way around here. He says I'm not quite there yet, but I'm getting all the way around. It's supposedly 5 miles. I have no idea how long I've taken, and I'm not interested in the time, because what's happening is that I'm concentrating on my footwork, keeping my ankles and my feet okay, and getting back to fitness. Now there's something going on down here. Lots of trees cut down and stuff. Somewhere around here there is supposed to be an old route called the 99 Steps, which is supposed to have been an old trackway between the two villages back in the day. Well, somebody's been down there and the cutting down trees monster has been here and has cut down all the trees along the little brook there, or river, brook, whatever. So here we go. Right, I'm just going to go down here because I know I've got to cross the river somewhere. The old birds scare us. Let's have a look at this. Have a read. These steps on a footpath linking the settlement of Upper and Lower Brailes have been used since certainly medieval times. Generations of village people, yeah, it'll be the cowboy and the cowboy and the construction worker. Generations of village children have played around the steps. In 1999, Brailes Footpath Group sponsor a step appeal to raise funds to repair them, make them safe. The generous response from the public and the grant from Awards for All enabled work to proceed, and the refurbishment steps were opened with great ceremony on 3rd of January 2000 by Vicar Nicholas Morgan. Our vicar Nicholas Morgan gave a blessing, and together over 100 people turned out for the event. Well done, anyway, to everybody involved in it. Now, I'm not going to criticise you, okay? I'm not going to say anything, but I'm just going to, because I've got nothing better to do, I'm just going to count, okay? 1 step, 2 steps, 3 steps. We'll use the count's voice from Sesame Street. 4 steps, 5 steps, 6 steps, 7 steps, 8 steps, 9 steps, 10 steps. I love to count. 11 steps, 12 steps, 13 steps, 14 steps, 15 steps, 16 steps, 17 steps, 18 steps, 19 steps, 20 steps. I am the count. I love to count. 21 steps, 22 steps, 23 steps, 24 steps, 25 steps, 26 steps, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47. It's flat. My suspicions have been confirmed. Yep, it ain't 99 steps. At least there ain't 99 there. Anyway, out for now. Got to go back down here. There might be 99 paving stones. Cross that river and find a pathway back into the village. Out for now. Well, there we go. Oh, got my little gimbal thing out. Is it on properly? And we're just gonna, it's the final bit here. We're walking through. Ooh. I'm going to walk through the, just a bit of a, going to walk through the churchyard here. So I just stuck the gimbal on the phone on the gimbal. So that was it. Supposedly 5 miles. My legs are aching, but that's from tiredness because I'm not used to doing the walks. And I've done the hill. I've covered the uneven ground. Done a hill. The choice of walking back through a lane or walking through the churchyard, so I thought I'd take a walk through the churchyard. Typical English country church. The original is knocked down or taken down, and all the bricks and bits are reused, or they build an extension onto the original one. It's probably one of the flying schools that are around here. Yeah. And then so you see the brickwork is all over the place. As the town becomes a little bit wealthier, they usually take it down. Some of them are, the original churches of course would be mud and wattle and daub, as they say. Most of them, although I've been into one in Wales from the 600s, where Saint David, patron saint of Wales, was supposed to have, I've got to work that out, was supposed to have been, and that was quite a robust stone building. But of course the first ones were probably have been built by a couple of monks and maybe one or two followers. The church that I attended as a kid was built, well, it was built out of nissen huts. They, at the end of the war, they didn't have a church, or they wanted to expand. There was more people. They needed more. There was more population increase, so they needed another church. So what they did was they had a school that they built, and if you looked at the old church, it was basically nissen huts from the war. There was obviously a lot of them, but they, whoever made them, obviously you could go along and say, look, we want a church built in the same way, and they built the church. And the clubhouse, which my father used to go to, proper old fellas with a good snooker table in there where they played cards for money and all this sort of thing. It was not much bigger than a traditional nissen hut from the war. And then after that they obviously they had the school, and then they built a new church around the old one. Well, that's not been open since for a while, is it? I think the last person who opened that was Count Dracula, trying to get in to save his soul. It's a shame the barbarians have changed it so that you can't leave the churches open anymore, which is a bit annoying. If they simply applied the laws the way we used to do it, you'd find people would have. It's just the Diocese of Coventry. This is a good old hack away from Coventry. But there you go. Yeah, because the country's descending into barbarism. Oh, hold on. Most of the churches are closed all the time. Although they did leave them over at Easter. Yep, at Easter. Well, you know what? Let's see. I'm going to be disappointed. Yeah. It's the end of the world as we know it. They didn't do that during the Black Death. Hey? They didn't lock the churches during the Black Death. And yet the government in Britain has today decided that's what we need to do. The thing is, the churches aren't exactly awash with people. Mosques are, synagogues are. I think one or two, the evangelical churches are. You go to Birmingham and you see a lot of them are out of Africa, out of the Caribbean, and they are well supported, well attended. But the Church of England, no. Yeah, I personally think there's an anti-Christian thing going on in our society. We've got various groups who basically don't like it, don't understand it, most of them. I speak to a lot of Christians, they don't understand Christianity. But there is definitely to do with the society and the culture. The culture is the religion. Other people think they can the culture consists of the how shall I put this? The culture is the things that people have in common. That's what makes a culture. It's what we have in common. Now we can have, like the Britons of old, you can have different tribes and different clans and different things, but if you share similar morality, similar religion, doesn't have to be exactly the same, with similar beliefs, so you can be a different kind of Christian, but you know what when we're all arguing about it, we all know the same thing. Sikhs are very much the same. Sikhs are very they're very Christian-like in their attitudes to things like charity and various other cultural norms that the Christians have. The Sikhs tend to have some of them. So, for example, hitting women. Sikhs don't like you hitting women. They get extremely upset about it. Yeah, and quite rightly. Sikhs believe that all people are children, all are equal in the eyes of God. Might dispute which one they have their idea of God. We have ours, the fundamental that all are equal in the eyes of God. So even non-Sikhs are God's children, if you want to look at it that way, which is the same as Christianity. So think not beating women, protecting the weak, all of these things, basic cultural things, appear, from what I see, and I've seen quite a lot of them, not in a religious way, but just a day-to-day thing, are things that a lot of the Sikh community, the older ones, well, I talked about the ones in their 30s and that, tend to, hold to be true. So they've got a very similar culture on certain levels, which means that when we're talking to them about things about charity and about compassion and the idea that everybody's equal in the eyes of the law, everybody's equal in the eyes of God, they have a similar understanding, so it's easier to get along. Yeah, go to a different church, come from a different tradition, but the fundamentals are the same, so the cultures can net together quite easily. some people don't seem to realise. I've heard people who are very, very, what you would think was, they're opposed to what we would consider general. They think that you can get rid of the Christian morality, the Christian side of the country. Basically, it'll no longer be a Christian country, but it'll be the same. And no, it won't. No, it won't. It will not be the same if it's a Christian country. It will not be Britain if it's a Christian country. No longer a Christian country. It will not be the country that will go out and fight to abolish slavery. It will not be the sort of country that will turn up to fight National Socialism or Marxism. It'll be a different country with different standards, and it will not have the same culture. People think, well, yeah, it is because, well, yeah, you were raised in a Christian society. Do you believe that, we should allow children to, never mind, I won't go into that, it's too political. But that's what it is, but people think, oh, just, if it dies out, no, because our morality comes from the church and our parents, and they say, well, we never went to church. No, but your parents did. And what you got from your parents got from the church. So it is important. And you don't have to, it's not a question of forcing people to be religious. It's simply a question of having a moral foundation on which the rest of the culture can be built. One that is shared. Good Lord, that's a bit, yeah. Ho hum. That all got a bit serious all of a sudden. Anyway, I'm back where I started. All's well that ends well. And there's a pub just up the road there. If only they were open, so we could walk back here, go up there, rest your feet, have a cup of tea and drive home. Out for now.